Turn around. Look, it's rock and roll.
Turn around, look, it's Rock and Ron.
Hey,
Yeah, finally, the return of Decibel Geek Friday Night Live. I'm Aaron Camaro, joined as always by Chris Sinzak, and back joining us, just like I said, just like I hoped and dreamed it would be, Rock and Ron's here with us tonight, everybody. Give some love to Rock and Ron.
oh, I couldn't miss tonight, man. I'm excited.
So happy to see your face, brother. It's great to have you back.
Appreciate it, man. Like I say, I couldn't miss it. I'm excited. Is it really just 1 week away? Next weekend, guys.
Don't remind me.
Only 1 week left, Chris. That's it.
One week left. Yep. And still a lot of stuff to do.
Man, right about now, exactly 1 week from this moment, the three of us are going to be in Nashville, Tennessee at the Mercy Lounge, rocking and rolling with a bunch of awesome live acts, man. We're going to be having an awesome time hanging out with our rock and roll friends, and you can be a part of it. We're going to tell you all about it tonight as we hang out for Friday Night Live. This is your Rockin' Pod preview primer extravaganza celebration extraordinande. It's going to be great.
Friday, fun night, fun time, whatever it is. Yeah. Just pick your own name.
But tonight we're going to be going through all the Rockin' Pod festivities that are coming up. We're going to be shooting the shit about rock and roll and having fun like we always do on a Friday night.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I posted a picture of my beer can earlier. This is like the last night I have to actually kick back before everything kicks off next week. So, yeah, I'm gonna enjoy tonight hanging out with you guys because it's gonna be a crazy weekend for me for sure.
Yeah, we all been priming our livers except for Ron. He ain't drinking this year.
We have to drink his share.
And we're gonna do it.
I'm gonna try to stay
here in spirit. I'm still here in spirit.
Yes, that's true.
He'll just have to buy us. We'll just have to take all his beer tickets that he would have drank otherwise.
Oh man, but yeah, it's but yeah, well, I mean, we haven't checked in with each other in a while. I mean, how are you guys? Although Aaron, I saw you the other night.
I was gonna say, yeah, we were together at Gary Corbett's memorial just the other night, which was, man, I still can't believe it. I still can't believe it. Even days after that, I still have moments where it's like, I ain't never gonna get to hang out with Gary Corbett again. You know, it just bums me out terribly.
Yeah, me too. It was a very well done service. Lenora and Mindy did a great job putting that on, and we were lucky enough to speak at it. And Aaron was the comic relief for the crowd, which was very well needed because it was kind of a somber occasion until we got up there.
Not a drop of alcohol up to that point either.
Yeah, it needed to be looser.
Water.
Right.
But it was such a sad thing. We decided we were going to go up and try to bring a little levity to it. And so we did. And we just went up there and told some fun Gary Corbett stories. The Gary Corbett that we know, you know, the people that listen to the Decibel Geek podcast, the Gary Corbett that they know through the awesome stories that he told. That's the Gary that we tried to represent while we were there and just try to remind everybody, yeah, you know, it sucks. You know, it's terrible. It's sad. We miss him. We're going to always miss him. He's always going to be in our hearts. But let's stop for a minute and talk about some of the really awesome stuff that Gary Corbett's done. And it wasn't about his Grammy Awards and his, writing songs that were #1 hit singles and all these other things. It was Gary Corbett, the guy that's been on the Decibel Geek podcast 4 times and the guy that was our personal friend. I think we started out by saying, we've done the Decibel Geek podcast for 10 years. We've interviewed all kinds of rock stars. We don't want to be friends with all of them in real life, and all of them don't want to be friends with us in real life. And that's cool, because that's the way 9 times out of 10 it goes. But the exception, for the most part, within a few exceptions, was Gary Corbett. He was truly a real, true friend of ours, and to lose him broke our damn hearts. It seriously did. And, it was cool to see all those people there that night that had love for him and had great memories of him and got to share some of their memories. And we got to meet some really cool people that we didn't even know were friends with Gary Corbett. So, man, it was a really cool night considering what it was. It was really great, but with a sadness that I just can't even describe.
Yeah.
It was beautiful and heartbreaking all at the same time. And we're going to miss Gary Corbett. Yeah. And if you don't know who we're talking about, check out our archives. Google it, Decibel Geek, Gary Corbett. And you're going to find yourself some high quality podcasting to listen to, because anything that guy's been a part of with us, I mean, he's known for joining bands and elevating them and making them better. I kind of got to say that, when he came on the Decibel Geek podcast, he elevated us and made us better too. And we were a better podcast for having a guy like him on as a guest.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to miss him. And it's been a rough few weeks in the rock world, man. So many people passing away. And, Dusty Hill from ZZ Top just passed, and that one
was
got
a shocker.
Me.
Yeah. I mean, he wasn't touring, but, because they had said it was like a hip replacement or something he was going through, and then out of the blue he's gone. And then Mike Howe from Metal Church, and that was a shocker. And then they released the announcement today that it was a suicide, which is really, really sad. I wasn't seeing that coming.
And of course Jeff LaBar too.
And Jeff LaBar, from Cinderella, but Joey Jordison from Slipknot.
Yeah, no kidding. That blew me away too.
Yeah, but
I'm not the biggest Slipknot fan in the world, but I think what a lot of people don't realize about Joey Jordison is that I'm a big fan of his stuff that he did with the Murder Dolls, where he was the lead guitarist and was contributing songwriter and all these things. And they basically went on to say that without that guy, there wouldn't be a Slipknot, because at the beginning of Slipknot, he was the guy writing all this stuff, the drummer.
Right.
Amazing. I didn't know that until he passed.
Yeah, very talented cat. And
so
but yeah, so I mean, it's been a sad week, but let's kick back, and we've got a lot to look forward to for next week. There's a lot going on. This is the most excitement I think we've ever had for ROCKNPOD. I mean, I've to see how it's grown, and we'll get into some memories of past ROCKNPODs as we get into the night. But I wanted to hit people up. I know a lot of you are tuned in to kind of talk about this year's event, so I wanted to kind of run through a little bit of stuff, and we'll give you guys the 411 on everything that's happening. Of course, and Aaron's got the poster that will be available at the event also, though, that features just about everybody involved, which is pretty cool.
There's several of these hanging up all over Nashville right now.
You're the best.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Perks of having a job where I work downtown.
That's cool. I'm glad you hit people up for that. So the first day is Friday, and for those of you that are registered podcast, the podcasters get the first event, and it's exclusive to you guys. So let's put up the schedule here. 4:00 to 5:15 at the Hilton Nashville Airport will be the podcaster cocktail mixer for the registered podcasters. And we did this in 2019, and people seem to really enjoy it. And it's just kind of everybody gathering together after getting off their flights and hanging out and having drinks and catching up and networking. And it's really laid back, low key. We have some special stuff going on. One of which involves Rock and Ron. And no, Ron, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but you have to.
Oh, come on!
It's a dunk tank.
Can I get him to drink enough tonight?
No, you can't.
No.
My lips are sealed on this one.
Ron, I'll tell you what it is. It's
Yeah.
the Rockin' Pod dunk tank. That's why he needs you there so bad.
Yay.
I'm bringing baseballs.
Yeah, that's all we need. Let's give Ron hypothermia on top of everything else he's going through. Great idea, Aaron.
Make sure you're there on Friday night, Ron. Hey, we can't do it without you on Friday night, Rockin' Ron.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's gonna be really fun. And then but then after that, for the rest of you, the first thing of the weekend is this.
Don't you technically have something going on Thursday too? For like the early birders?
Well, anyone who gets into town on Thursday that wants to hang out around 6 o'clock, a lot of us are going to be hanging out at the Scoreboard, which is over in Music Valley, which is where we had the first 2 Rockin' Pods over in that area. And it's just going to be just anyone hanging out. We're going to hang out there and have drinks and hot chicken and all that good stuff.
They got really good food there and really good ambiance. Enjoy the artwork, folks, while you're there at the Scoreboard. It's quite beautiful.
It's a Packers bar. That's why Aaron's saying that. There's Packers shit all over the place.
Should have known.
And I purposely...
He's back.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers back in the building.
I never doubted it all along, did I?
You didn't. You called it.
I did.
But yeah, I'll never forget seeing Baco's face the first time that he walked into the Scoreboard. Baco's a Minnesota Vikings fan, and he wasn't real happy about that.
Oh, it was beautiful. I loved it.
Yeah, but somebody's asking how far is the Scoreboard from the hotel? Oh, it's a quick little drive, probably like 7 minutes or something.
Yeah, just right up Briley Parkway.
Yeah, it's really fast. The Packers logo. Oh, yeah. Trying to make sure I get some of
that
these.
stuff. It's great.
Sean Cullen will be there. He knows about the Scoreboard. It's become kind of legendary in our groups.
Well, we didn't have it last year, but I think the year before that, I met Sean on Thursday, I think, and ran him over to Scoreboard because I didn't know where else to take him. I was like, hey, let's just go to the Scoreboard. I know you like that place. So that's where we went and hung out, had lunch the first day. He was the first person I saw.
It's a fun place to hang out. I mean, it's laid back. They got a lot of space for people to spread out and hang out. So yeah, we'll be there at 6 o'clock that night if anybody's in town early and wants to come hang out.
That's Thursday, and then Friday we check into our hotels. We do the little mixer party. That's going to be awesome too. But then Friday night, oh yeah, that's when the real party starts. Down at the Mercy Lounge. We're going to see all the rock and roll that Nashville can handle on a Friday night right there. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have all kinds of cool stuff, man. We got Rock United, and that's our friend Mangus. You guys, if you listen to the podcast for a while, you probably remember Mangus. He's been a guest on the show with us before. Super nice guy. We almost melted him and his wife to be able to have them on the show.
Forgot about that.
Least we can do is have them party with us and provide rock and roll entertainment. And special treat on that one, they got Phil from the Talisman, from Ace's band, from Gene's band, our friend. He's been on the show with us several times, I think.
Yeah, and from Accept.
What's that?
And from Accept.
And from Accept, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Holy shit, that new album's awesome with those guys. And he's going to be a part of that. And then that's going to be really cool. What's the guest guitarist? Oh, that's Phil. Okay,
that's
I got you. Right on. Okay, cool. I thought you were going to invite just guest guitarists to get up on stage there first.
No, Phil's filling in for their normal guitarist.
Okay, good. No better guy to do it than that. Then after that, who hits the stage? Our friend, your friend, the rock and roll cowboy himself, Ron Keel. Hell yes, he's going to be bringing it acoustic. He's going to be busting out all the tunes you want to hear Ron Keel sing, and he's going to be doing it for us at 7:15. Then, come 8 o'clock, oh man, this is going to be amazing. Resist and Bite, making their Nashville Rockin' Pod debut. This is a new band. We've had Tommy Skio on the show. He's told us about this band. He's so excited about it, and for good reason, because we've heard a couple of the songs off the upcoming album, and they are stellar. If you're a fan of rock music, hard and heavy, the way we like it, then you're definitely going to love Resist and Bite. When you're done with us tonight, get on the YouTube, look up Resist and Bite. They got 2 great songs, The Myth I'm Living and another song called
Fate.
Fate. That's
Fate.
right. Fate. Oh, that's a killer song too. They're both badass. I can't wait to hear the rest of the songs they're going to be doing that night. Word on the street is that they might bust out some Tesla.
They will.
Yeah. And when we're talking about Tommy Skio, I can almost guarantee you it's going to be the heavy side of Tesla, the songs that band's going to lay out for us. And then everybody's favorite. As if that wasn't all enough. I mean, that's a show right there. Rock United, Keel, Resist and Bite. That's a great show any night of the week, any city in the world. Somebody's going to buy a ticket to see that. But there's more, so much more. The mystery of it is kind of what's appealing. So you got guys like Carmine Apiece, Vinny Appice, Billy Sheehan, Greg Bissonette, Ron Keel, Rick Fox is going to be there, Ricky Rackman, Ace Von Johnson, Anthony Corder from Tora Tora, Tyson Leslie, all these guys, Jeremy Asbrock, Christopher Williams from Accept, Todd Poole from Roxy Blue, and all these other people that are going to be guests at Rockin' Pod. You don't know what you're going to see. So you might see the reunion of, I don't know, Billy Sheehan and Greg Bissonette up on stage. Maybe they do some old David Lee Roth tunes with somebody awesome playing guitar, somebody awesome singing. You don't know. You don't know the combinations you're going to see. We've seen so many cool things in the past. We've seen Michael Sweet busting out Van Halen songs in a situation that is a one-of-a-kind thing. You're not going to see that anywhere else. And the things you're going to see during the Rare Hair performance, starting at 9:15 on Friday night at the Mercy Lounge, you will not see anywhere else ever again. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So what combinations are you going to see? I don't know. That's part of the mystery. So let's see what happens. Let's all get together on Friday night for Rock United, Ron Keel Acoustic, Resist and Bite, and that awesome Rare Hair mystery set. It's going to be amazing. And remember, Carmine told us he doesn't get out and play too much anymore. So this is a really good opportunity for you to see Carmine in a rare, intimate setting where you're not going to be able to catch that anywhere else. I'm so stoked for Friday night. We have such a good time on Friday night. I always wonder, how the hell do we get up so early on Saturday and have the Rockin' Pod Expo?
Well,
but you know what? Every year in the past, we've pulled it off.
Well, I do it because I usually don't sleep the night before out Rockin' Pod, so it's easy enough for me. Yeah, I sleep maybe 4 hours the night before, and then I just run on adrenaline all the way through Saturday. Let me bring this up interesting. Depot Records is saying let's give away 4 tickets for the Friday show. Are you paying for those, Tony? I mean, because if you are, then we will do it, and we'll take comments on that if you're interested in doing that. Just let us know in the comment section. But yeah, that's going to be an amazing show. And I will say I'm one of maybe 3 people outside of the performers that know what the set list is for the Rare Hair show.
Oh,
holy
really?
Shit. The combination of players and songs that you're going to hear, you'll never see a show like this again. So you're going to see some amazing stuff. You're going to see some people doing some reunions with each other, and you're going to see some really bizarre one-off performances that you never thought you would see. It's gonna be an amazing show for sure.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. I want to know, but I don't want to be spoiled.
All right, Depot Records says he's doing it. So Depot Records is going to cover 4 tickets for the Friday pre-party concert. So if you're interested in that,
how do we do it?
Comment in the comments section, and the first 4 people that say I want the tickets, I'll take your name down and I'll put you together with Tony, and we'll get you covered.
One person gets all 4, or 4 each get 1, or 2 get 2, or how's it work?
That's good. Well, since it's 4, let's do 2 sets of 2. I think that's because everybody wants to go with somebody to a concert. So the first 2 people that say I want 2 tickets, you'll get it. We'll see if we get any takers. I mean, our audience is from around the world. I don't know how many Nashville people or people that are close enough to do it would be commenting in here. So we'll see if we can do it. If not,
if you got somebody local watching that wants to do it, you can get in on it. Just let us know. If we don't hear nothing, we'll remind you in a minute.
Very cool. Yeah, so we'll do that, and if not, we'll do it on the Facebook page if we don't have any takers.
Thanks,
But
Depot. That's awesome.
very cool, Depot Records. I'm getting a lot of if only I could, and I wish I could go. Because we have people.
You do wish you could go because it's going to be awesome.
There's people from all over the world.
Yeah.
Well, he lives in Cleveland, Tennessee. Well, Mike, are you saying you want him? Let us know.
You got to make sure you're going to go, though. Don't say I want him if you can't go.
Very cool.
Yeah, you will.
All right, so that's going to be that's the opening night, and then we move into Saturday and ROCKNPOD Expo. We'll put up the full poster here. That's kind of the whole overview. And but we're going to break down.
I got to complain about this poster. I don't see where Aaron Camaro's shoes are listed anywhere on here as special guests.
There's no room for Aaron Camaro's shoes because they're too big.
Not even small down at the bottom. They're too big.
Oh, all right. So,
but isn't that half the thrill of coming to ROCKNPOD is to see what the hell Aaron Camaro is going to be wearing?
Wait till you see what Aaron's wearing this year, guys.
I do it upright for the people.
Let's see if we have any takers on the. Just checking in. What's this for?
What's it for? This is for the ROCKNPOD pre-party. 2 tickets to see Rock United, to see Ron Keel Acoustic, to see Resist and Bite, Tommy Skio from Tesla's new awesome band, and to see Rare Hair, which is a combination of all these stellar artists doing songs in a one-of-a-kind, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to see them play stuff it's going to blow your mind. It's at the Mercy Lounge next Friday night. We're giving away 2 pairs of tickets. And if you're in the Nashville area or you can come to the Nashville area, we don't want you to say, I want them if you can't go.
Yeah.
If you can go, then just let us know you want them. The first person to tell us I want them is going to get a pair. The second person that says I want them is going to get a pair. We understand that there's viewers from all over North America, all over the world that are watching this right now. And we're hoping somebody local has got their eyes open on this right now and from the Nashville area or going to be in Nashville next weekend, next Friday night. Depot Records is going to hook you up. They're going to give you guys a pair of tickets. So if you're in the area, you want to go. If you know somebody who's in Nashville, tell them, hey, you better tune into this right now because you're giving away a pair of tickets to something you're not going to want to miss.
Yeah, I think some people are tagging people in the comments. That's why I'm seeing names pop up randomly. So,
come on, people.
So if say you want them in the comments, the first 2 people that say it get a pair of tickets for it. So,
Depot Records making it happen for you.
So let's move on to Saturday. So we're going to break it down by room and by what session and everything. So here's one of the big things. This is the expo schedule for the Cheekwood Ballroom main stage that's going on Saturday. This is the panels and the acoustic performances. So this is going to be really cool. Aaron, why don't you go over what we got going on here?
The writing's too little and I can't see it.
Okay, is it? Okay. So, well, the part you and me are involved in is the first panel of the day, and I think you can describe that.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be awesome. So if you guys are fans of the Decibel Geek podcast, you know one of our most revered subjects that we do on the show is Albums Unleashed. And that's where we take an album that we both love and respect, and we find somebody who had a hand in the making of that album. We've done it with Motley Crue 94 with John Corabi. We've done it with Michael Wagner on Dog Eat Dog by Warrant. We've done it with Michael Wagner and Rachel Bolan from Skid Row for Slave to the Grind and a bunch of other ones. Well, live on stage, oh man, this is one that I've always said from the very beginning when we first started doing Albums Unleashed. This is one I want to do. This is one of my favorite albums when I was a kid. It meant a lot to me. It still is with me strong. I love 90% of the album, and I still listen to it all the time. I'm talking about David Lee Roth, Eat 'Em and Smile, an album that means a lot to me. I know it means a lot to Chris. And man, if we're going to have Billy Sheehan and Greg Bissonette in the same building at the same time for Rockin' Pod, then you know Chris and I are going to get those guys up on stage live in front of an audience, and we're going to talk about the making of David Lee Roth's Eat 'Em and Smile with two guys that were there. Talk about people that had a hand in the making of the album. We're talking about Billy Sheehan and Greg Bissonette. We've got the rhythm section extraordinaires with us. The guys, when David Lee Roth said, I need to put together a band that could rival Van Halen, this was what he picked as his rhythm section. And they're going to break it down with us live on stage. Such a great album. We're going to find out all about it. And you can be there sitting right in the front row and checking it out with us. You're going to get to see a live Decibel Geek podcast with these two awesome guests. And that's kicking the whole day off. I love it.
And let me go back to the right thing. All right. So then after that will be
welcoming to the stage first, myself and Chris Sinzak.
Yeah, basically. And then we have an acoustic performance from 12:20 to 12:40 from a really great newer band called Native Sons. They're part of the High Vol Music roster, Bill Chavis's outfit. Right on. And good young band and getting a lot of attention in the rock world. So we're happy to have those guys come this year, and they're going to be around. And also at 12:45, we'll have the Women Who Rock panel, which is Pamela DeBar. If you don't know who Pamela DeBar is, then you don't really know your rock history. She was, I mean, I guess the simplified version is world famous groupie, but she was like very influential on a lot of guys she had relationships with. Like she was part of the GTOs, which was, called Girls Together Outrageously, I think is what it was called. They were like part of Frank Zappa's crew back in the late 60s. And then but Pamela's had relationships with like Jimmy Page and Mick Jagger and several other people, and wrote several great books, and now also hosts a podcast on Pantheon Podcast, which is also our network that we're on. So we're super excited to have her. And then also Jax Hollow, who's been on Friday Night Live before with us. Great up-and-coming young artist and songwriter. She's going to be part of that. And Juanita Copeland, who owns the Sound Emporium studio here in Nashville, and she has a great story of going from basically being like a gopher for the studio back in the 80s and worked her way all the way up to owning the studio. It's a really big success story there. So Mistress Carrie, who's a well-known radio DJ up in the Boston area and also a podcaster herself, she's going to moderate that one. So we're really excited for that. And then another acoustic performance comes at 1:35 with Anthony Corder from Tora Tora. He's going to get up and do a few songs for us, which is really awesome. The whole band, Tora Tora, is going to be there, but Anthony's going to do this solo. But I'm excited to hear what he's got to play. And Anthony's been a big believer in what we do every year since the very beginning. So I'm excited to see him again for sure. And I've got a cosplay cosplay contest listed, but I haven't really pushed the cosplay thing, so I don't even know if we're going to even do that at this point, to be honest with you.
It's on the schedule, so I guess we should put it out there. If you want to be a part of the cosplay contest, well, this isn't like a Marvel comic book convention. This is a Rockin' Pod Expo. So what we want to see is your best Gene Simmons, your best Ace Frehley, Peter Criss, Paul Stanley, Alice Cooper, Dee Snider, something along those lines. Mm-hmm. Bring us your best Axl Rose or your Slash, cosplay with rock and roll in mind. There's prizes you can win for the cosplay contest. So show up dressed as your favorite rock star, and you could win some prizes.
Yep. That'll be cool. And then the next one's kind of like the biggest one we've got as far as like getting national attention, and that's this one. Aaron, why don't you talk about the When Music Ruled television panel we're doing?
Well, I mean, when you think about it, when people ask me what we do on Decibel Geek, I always think like the most simplified way I can explain it to them is that, there's no MTV anymore. When we were kids, we'd tune into MTV to try to find out, the new music, what's coming out, the news. And we'd tune into, try to read like rock magazines and stuff like that. And those things are all gone. So what takes its place? Podcasts do. And so I always say, we kind of want to be like the MTV for this era, for people that remember MTV, when MTV actually played music. We got some people that are coming that were there when MTV played actual music. Talking about Matt Pinfield. You guys remember him from 120 Minutes. We got Mark Goodman, who he was all over MTV in the early days. And of course, the host of the Headbangers Ball, the one and only Ricky Rackman, going to be there as well. Man, I'm really looking forward to meeting these guys. It's an opportunity that all three of them are going to be on stage at the same time talking about when music ruled television. Oh, I like that, Sean Cullen. You're the man.
That's going back a ways.
Man, yeah, that should be a t-shirt. But I mean, how cool is that? Where else are you going to get Matt Pinfield, Mark Goodman, and Ricky Rackman on the same stage talking about their experiences on MTV when MTV meant something, when MTV mattered? That this is a very, very rare occurrence. And it's going to be interesting to see how the three of them interact, because as much as they're all known for the same thing, they're also kind of known for different things within that. Matt Pinfield was kind of the alternative rock guy. Ricky Rackman was the metal dude. And Goodman, I mean, he was everything, from the pop to everything else, So I think it's going to be really cool to see these guys have their different perspectives within the same big box of MTV. And it's going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to seeing that and meeting these guys. I mean, icons, really, icons from our youth.
Yeah, and Ricky was actually on Eddie Trunk's show today, and he was talking about the event and the panel. So I was excited to see that. And he mentioned, and Eddie Trunk also mentioned that MTV is not even acknowledging their 40th anniversary, which is pretty sad. They're not even paying attention to it or doing anything for it. And so I got to say, our event is doing more for MTV's anniversary than they are.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's sad, because that means they'd have to talk about music. And that's not what it is. Why do they even call it music? Why didn't they ever change the name?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, they stopped saying that the M stood for music, but yeah, this Sunday is the 40th anniversary, so we're doing it on the same week as their 40th anniversary. But not very interactive here. I'll listen some other time. Oh, I must have missed your comment or question. I apologize for that.
Thank you. Enjoy your weekend as well.
Yeah, thanks for chiming in though. But yeah, MTV. I had a lot of good memories of MTV. It was a lot of fun as a kid to watch it, and I was. At one point, I was one of the only kids on my block to have it, so I'd have people coming over to my house just to watch it with me and my brother.
When I was a kid, we lived out in the country, and if you were outside the certain radius of being in town, you didn't have the option of getting cable. You only had the 3 or 4 channels. So my friend lived in town, and I would beg my parents, please let me spend the night at Jason's house on Saturday night. Like, you just spent the night there last Saturday night. It's all good. His mom don't care, and that's what it was. We'd hang out and go do whatever with our friends, but we were back at his place at a certain time because we were going to watch the countdown to the ball, and we were going to watch the Headbangers Ball. And that was, that was so many Saturday nights out of my youth because, like I said, that's how we kept up with stuff. We didn't have podcasts and things back then, You
Right.
tuned into Headbangers Ball to hopefully see the new video by one of your favorite bands, and it was always a treat, man. I miss those times, and I loved Headbangers Ball. Loved it.
Me too. Yeah, and my Saturday night ritual was usually hanging out over at my buddy's house doing the sleepover thing, and we'd rent horror movies to watch earlier in the night, in like the dumbest slasher films we could find, and then would watch MTV until the wee hours of the morning. That was kind of like a ritual every weekend for me and my buddy. MTV was great, but still couldn't compete with late night Skinamax. Yeah, Skinamax was good too. Martha Quinn was cute.
Martha Quinn, I remember her. Heck yeah. Ron, were you too old for MTV?
Oh, hell no. I remember the day it launched.
Yeah.
And yeah, Martha Quinn is definitely a little cutie.
Yeah, I knew Ron had a thing for Martha Quinn.
But yeah, I remember MTV. We just sat for hours in front of the TV watching the channel and watching for whatever videos come on.
Watch
If there was a video that came on, that's what we watched. It doesn't matter what kind it was. But yeah, when Headbangers Ball started up, man, that was definitely something, because that was our music.
Yeah, for sure. And the early days of it were like the wild, wild west too, because you'd see the weirdest stuff because they were only running what they had artists that would submit their stuff to. So I remember Rod Stewart was like one of the first big artists that was keen on MTV. So it felt like you'd see 2 or 3 Rod Stewart videos every hour. I was like, why am I seeing Rod Stewart all the damn time? It really got on my nerves.
Rod Stewart and the Go-Go's.
Yeah, the Go-Go's and Pat Benatar. A lot of Pat Benatar on there.
Tom Petty.
REO Speedwagon was on quite a bit. Yeah.
I just remember sitting there and just pining for a Kiss, video, and not knowing, they're not going to play a Kiss video during the day in the regular rotation. But I'd sit there just like radio and like listen in hopes of seeing something or hearing something about Kiss, and then really never doing it. And then Headbangers Ball, and it's like, oh yeah, now I know if I want to see a Kiss video, I got to watch between this time period. See it. It's not going to be on in the afternoon.
Yeah, it was a magical time, and it's going to be cool to have that panel there because, like I said, it was MTV themselves are not doing anything, which is really sad. They should be rerunning some old stuff. They could take advantage of that, but they're not doing it.
I would think that, like, if they came and said, "Hey, MTV's 40th anniversary for that weekend," if I was home and available, we're going to be running all kinds of classics. We're going to show some classic Headbangers Balls. We're going to give you the best of, MTV every year, like the announcements, new breaking news and all that stuff. They say 81, and go through and do it all the whole year, the best of 81 from MTV clips, showing videos and stuff like that. I'd probably tune into that. I'd want to see it. But Neil's right. MTV Unplugged. That's another thing that you miss.
Yeah, I miss all that. Yeah, that programming was great, and Unplugged was really cool because they would really have a wide variety of artists do it. And like, I remember watching LL Cool J on MTV Unplugged and really enjoying it because it was just so cool to see actual instruments being played during that. It was cool.
I've never seen that.
It's actually fun to watch. I used to record Headbangers Ball every Saturday night VHS, and before that, Heavy Metal Mania hosted by Dee Snider. Yeah, you're going way back, Cecil. That was the early days. Was Alan Hunter the first host? I don't think Alan was. It was a guy. There was a guy with a mustache.
Ricky, right?
Do what?
There was a different host at first before Ricky Rackman, though, right?
Well, right before Ricky, it was Adam Curry.
Yeah, that's one.
But I think there was one guy before Adam Curry even. I can't remember his name, though.
And it was from Axl Rose's suggestion that he got the job, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he... the story with that is, I guess, Axl was hanging out at the Cat House, and they had MTV, like Headbangers Ball was on TV, and Ricky just mentioned, it'd be fun to host that show. And Axl was like, I'll make a few phone calls, and he set it up. Wow. Yeah.
Nice. That's because back then when Axl Rose said something, you did it,
Yeah, for real. What is this?
That's really cool.
Trying to keep up with the comments. There's a lot of comments tonight, so we're doing.
That's good.
All the Mooger Fugger and Mrs. Fugger.
Oh, nice. They're going to see REO tomorrow.
That's cool. You guys have fun.
Steal your tapes. That's an old Moose or Quinto callback.
Right. Remember, we all enjoyed Remote Control at first, but that was the beginning for the end of music. Yeah, but a lot of the questions were music based, so I gave that show a pass because of that.
Musicians on that show sometimes, like I think one of the guys from Anthrax was on it one time.
Yeah, Charlie Benante won his episode. But yeah, and Adam Curry also did the hard. Yeah, they had Hard 30 and Hard 60. That's how big rock had gotten because they started doing like 30 and 60-minute shows during the daytime of hard rock. That's how big it had gotten at that point. I remember that. You guys really tapped a vein talking about him too. Yeah, I know. We've got to get to the rest of the schedule too. So, well, we got time to fill. It's okay. Let me look here, make sure I got the right slide up. All right, here's another cool thing we're doing. We've got live podcast interviews in front of an audience going on this year, which is going to be cool. And starting things off at 11 o'clock will be Toby Wright being interviewed by the Let It Rip with Ron podcast, where our good buddy Ron Jones.
Nice. We just saw him the other night at Gary's Memorial as well.
We did. And, Toby's coming back again, lives in LA, but still is coming back this year to be a part of it again. He's been at every single Rock and Pod Expo.
That's going to be my opportunity to talk him back into moving to Nashville.
Yeah.
Come back, man. Come on. How long you been out there? You ain't sick of it yet? You know you miss Nashville.
And if you want to see an interview with Mark Goodman one-on-one, I should say 1-on-3, the Ages of Rock podcast are talking to him at 11:45 that morning.
That ought to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Those guys will do a good job with him.
Mm-hmm.
I love those guys.
Great show.
All right, guys, before we get too much further into it here, I'm going to have to go ahead and cut out early.
Okay, buddy.
And doing the best I can here, but not really contributing.
No, it's all good, man. Just
But I will see everybody at ROCKNPOD next weekend, and I'm going to be there early Friday and
For the dunk tank.
with it all weekend, and looking forward to seeing everybody there. You guys and all the podcasters and the listeners and everything. So I can't wait to see y'all, and I'll see you next weekend.
all right. Thanks, Ron. Take care of
man.
yourself. Be safe.
Keep
brother.
rocking.
All right, Ron. Be good. We'll see you next week, brother.
All right, cool.
Getting a lot of messages here. Me and Metal Mike are planning our trip to Virginia Beach in September.
Oh, really?
Oh, you haven't heard the news?
No, what's up?
Oh, Judas Priest is doing a show at the beginning of September in Virginia.
Oh, I did.
Virginia, and they got a special one-night only opening act, making their 25-year return to the United States. Ugly Kid Joe.
So you're going to go.
I don't know. Man, I wish they were doing some opening headline and stuff. I hate to go all that way. That's an 11-hour drive. You hop a plane. But then, they're the opening act. How long do they really get? And then am I sitting the whole time Priest is on because I want more Ugly Kid Joe? That's no good either.
That's true.
Dilemma.
Well, I don't know. I saw that and I was like, oh, does this mean they're going to open for Nashville? Open in Nashville in October, but they said it was just one show.
Yeah, I know.
Which is lame. To go ahead and open all of them.
Yes.
Yeah, I got excited for you for a second.
Fun that night that they'll do them all.
Yeah, I know Mike will go. He'll probably drive all the way for it.
We've been talking about it.
Yeah, Grayson's a fan.
Love it.
The original Priest, you hope Al Atkins is going to be singing for them?
Not that original.
Sean Cullen says to do it.
I know. I need to. What if I never get an opportunity again?
Oh, here you go. Any chance of an episode of Camaro's Cutout bin coming up?
Yes. One day. I think of every 5 years, I think it is. Isn't that how it works? 5 to 7, something like that. But yeah, I've got, when I packed up my CDs from the old place before we moved, I gave like the Cutout bin selection their own box. So therefore, when I finally get everything unpacked, my CDs, then I got them separate. I pull out 13. We'll do it again one day.
Cool. All right, let's get back to the schedule so we can get through all this.
Okay.
Get to the right one. All right, and then at 12:30, Mike Dawson, who is the producer for the Adam Carolla Show. Adam Carolla Show, Guinness World Record holding podcast for downloads. Mike Dawson has a voice that would almost rival Aaron Camaro. I'm not going to say that it
really
it doesn't compete, but it's up there. And Izzy Presley will be moderating that from Metal Edge.
That'd be interesting. I really am interested in seeing that because when I think of Izzy Presley, I think of like the rock and roll guy,
Yeah.
and you don't necessarily think of that with Mike Dawson. So, what kind of interesting clash is that going to be? I'm really, really kind of excited to see how that goes.
Well, Mike has a band called the Smokin' Kills, and Izzy just joined the band, so it'll be. I'm sure they know each other pretty well.
I'm sure they'll be just fine then. No train.
Oh, you need to clear up a misconception. Candy says she notices your Toronto Blue Jays shirt.
Oh, this is actually a Merrill Blue Jays shirt. It's my hometown in Merrill, Wisconsin.
Yeah. I met somebody the other day from Wisconsin, and when I mentioned Merrill, they actually had heard of it. So they're a real Wisconsinite.
Woods.
Well, Scott Wark is not a fan of Izzy. Okay, sorry, Scott. All right. Wouldn't it be cool to have Aaron Camaro do the play-by-play for the Packers? That would be
I would take that job in a second.
Yeah.
Yes, I would.
Yeah. You would do that job for no money.
Like, hey, Chris, look, I'm moving to Green Bay. I'm so sorry. We're gonna have to do this on Skype for the rest of the time.
Yeah. Oh man. All right, and then 115 to 145, Craig Gass is gonna be interviewed by Podcast Rock City.
Nice.
So
that's gonna be cool.
A lot of Gene Simmons impersonation is going to be going on in that one, I'm sure. All right. And then 2:00, Don Jameson from that Jameson show is going to be doing his show live. And I think he's got Jason Beeler and one other person coming on, but I didn't have it finalized when I made this. So that's cool. And then 3:30, Cobras and Fire will interview Ron Keel, and no, there will not be a hot tub with Coors Lights. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, what, interviewing Ron Keel, what was Michael Sweet not available? Oh, no, I guess not.
It's going to be funny. And then
I had so much fun with that when we did our local H show, making fun of our co-hosts.
Yeah. And 4:15, closing out the live podcast schedule. We wouldn't have it any other way. The Rock and Metal Combat Podcast.
Yeah, you can't have it any other way because you hope most people have left by then because, the easily offended hopefully will get out the doors a little bit early, just a hair before that. If you're easily offended, plan to be out of there by 4:30 on Saturday because when those guys hit the stage, only the people that can take the hit and laugh along with it are going to be able to sit around and enjoy a live recording of the returned Rock and Metal Combat Podcast because last year, it kind of worked in our favor that we weren't able to have it because there was no such thing as the Rock and Metal Combat Podcast last year when Rock and Pod was supposed to happen. But thanks to the gods of rock and roll and podcasting, those guys were able to find their way back to each other. It's like that Kiss song, finally found my way. It's and they did it.
You had to bring that song up, didn't you?
It's so much more than just a wedding song. It's a podcast reunion song as well.
Yeah, and Depot Records says unless you're shopping. So definitely go to the Depot Records tables because tons of great vinyl in there for you.
Where is it?
Huh?
Is that online only? Tell me about Depot Records.
Oh, they've been at every expo. To Tony Seminaro.
All right, now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he always brings like the most obscure, cool, hard rock and metal records. It's he's always got great stuff.
That's always one of the funnest things that you see at that is like, for example, Depot Records. Somebody that's there will say, oh, Ron Keel's over here and he's signing autographs. So I'm going to run over to Depot Records. I'm going to spin through. Here's a Keel album. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to take it directly over to Ron Keel, get it signed. And that's one of the cool things about Rock and Pod because the vendors that are there, they've got the rock and roll stuff. They know who the guests are going to be. And so they got the stuff. They know who's going to be there. You want to get something autographed and you don't have something, odds are you're probably going to find it there. So on top of all these awesome guests, the panels, the on-stage things, we got vendors that are there selling albums just like Depot Records and a bunch of other ones. I know there's going to be a nice lady down there selling old vintage rock T-shirts. You want to stop and check her out. and all the other cool stuff going on around there. So it's your opportunity to do some shopping, fill the holes in your rock and roll collection. The stuff you're missing, good chance you're going to find it at ROCKNPOD. And there's another good chance you're going to be able to get it autographed while you're there. So it works out for everybody.
Yeah, for real. It's going to be cool. And then, let me bring up the podcaster. If you're a registered podcaster, this is a cool thing, and I'll run through this quick because not everyone's a registered podcaster. But we're doing the podcaster education track, and we've got several great sessions that will help you if you're a music podcaster, from beginning to end. So at the beginning, we have Larry Roberts doing podcast branding from planning to profit, which is going to be cool. Tell you how to make some money on your podcast. I need to attend that one.
Yeah, start making us some money. We've been doing this for 10 years.
I know. 11:45, a subject near and dear to our hearts, working with copyrighted music. And that's Peter Ferrioli and Christian Swain of Pantheon Podcast Network are going to talk about that. They know a lot about that subject.
We need to attend that one too. Maybe we can figure out how to bring a little something like that back to our show.
Yeah. 12:30. This is a cool one. David Hooper, who is he runs the Nashville Podcasters Group and also is a host on Lightning 100, an FM station. He does a show called Music Business Radio, and he also hosts a thing called Build a Big Podcast. He's very plugged in with the podcast thing. How to get attention for big name guests, because we're all trying to chase big name guests, and he's bringing on some great PR people, Susan Hamilton from Sideways Media and Michael Gowan from Milestone Publicity. So they will tell you what they are looking for when you're trying to get a big name guest. So it's really going to be valuable advice.
But that never seemed to work.
Yeah.
Now you can find out what really works.
Yeah, 115 to 145 live streaming your podcast, what you need and how to do it. Marcus DePaula, who knows all about that stuff, and then he stays on at 2:00, remote recording, performance/interview. So if you get lined up with meet me backstage before the show and I'll give you an interview, he'll tell you the best ways of going about doing those interviews.
Right.
And then
2:45.
Do what?
Hit the button on the Zoom twice.
Yeah, but he'll go into a little more detail than that. 245, the fan capture funnel, a step-by-step guide to getting real fans, not just downloads. Lou Lombardi's going to present that, and if you don't know what a capture funnel is, he'll explain it. It's kind of over my head, but it's about ways of working with the internet to get more fans through what they call like a publicity funnel.
I need to hire somebody to MC this thing so I can learn all these things. We could be even better podcasts.
Yeah, no, we'll just attend the sessions all day instead. And then wrapping it up, just suggested steps of action Q&A, kind of a what we learned thing with Larry Roberts. That's going to be really cool. But yeah, it's a good start to finish thing if you're a podcaster and you want to pick up more tips. And we're happy to present the podcaster education track. That's in the Cumberland room on the second floor.
Now, can people who are just say off the street, hey, I've been thinking about, I want to start my own podcast about whatever, crocheting.
Mm-hmm.
Can they go to that and learn about how to create a podcast?
Yeah, you just, as long as you register as a podcaster, that's all. You can go down to the basic ticket and do that, and it's not really expensive. And just sign up for that, and you get access to all of those sessions.
Right on. Maybe I can hire somebody to go take notes for us.
Yeah. How much can you watch? That's the beauty of this. It's an in-person event, so you can't watch the podcaster education track online. We will not be streaming that. I'm sorry. So next year, come to the event. Want to see Ralph and Izzy doing it. We're not going to get into the Ralph and Izzy thing. That's a long story.
There's a Ralph and Izzy thing?
Yeah, I'll talk to you off air about it. It's Ralph. There's always something.
Yeah. There's a Ralph and insert name here thing.
I'll talk to you later about it. And then, all right. And then so Saturday night, Aaron, I'm going to let you take over and talk about this one.
Okay, so think about this. All day long, we've been hanging out with rock stars. We've been having a good time. It gets to be later in the day. That's when the drinks start pouring a little bit. I know it's tough for me at ROCKNPOD because I'm the host. I'm running around. I'm having a good time. I'm meeting and I'm greeting and I'm letting people know what's going on the stage, and I'm having a good time. And it never fails. Around noon, I might run into Ian and Ralph, and somebody's going to try to offer me a beer. And I go, oh, man, it's only noon. I don't really want to start drinking just yet. But man, when it gets to be closer to 5 o'clock, I'm gonna start drinking because because there's some cool stuff going on after Rockin' Pod. So Rockin' Pod shuts down. Everybody's done for the day. You think we're tired? We're not. We're rock and rollers. We're just getting started. So then we're going to meet up just up the road at the Full Moon Cineplex. This place is not far away from the hotel. Just, a little bit up Lebanon Road, I think, is where it's at, right? Yeah, Lebanon
Yep.
Pike. So it ain't too far from there at all. So then we get there. It's a movie theater. It's got a bar. It's a fun place to hang out. We're all going to have a good time. Starting at 7 o'clock, they're going to show Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. Do you guys remember the show Mystery Science Theater 3000? Was it 3000?
Yeah.
3000. And they would have like the guy and the robots, and they talk smack about the movie while the movie was playing. You guys remember that show? Well, this is kind of the same idea as that. But there are few movies more smack talkable than Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park. Yes, we love Kiss, but I think everyone will admit that movie, in retrospect, if you were a little kid and saw it, it was the coolest thing in the world. But in retrospect, you look back on it, it's pretty cheesy, kind of silly, a little goofy. Well, Courtney Cronin Dold, along with Craig Gass, along with Don Jameson, along with special guest Philip Schaus, are going to be that man and those robots as they Mystery Science Theater to the hell park. I can only imagine how funny that's going to be. We're going to hang out. We're going to see it. Then after that, at 9 o'clock, you're going to get to see it. The biggest movie that came out in the last couple of years. The greatest show on earth. It was so cool when I got to see it on my little laptop screen. I can't wait to see it at the Cineplex.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
That's like the biggest thing for me is seeing this stuff on a actual movie screen with with seating and everything. And like the comedians are going to be hilarious, but for anyone, because I know people are going to ask, the Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park screening will be the original TV broadcast with all the 70s porno music, not the Kissology version.
Good.
Yes. It's better that way. It's full on 70s that way. Like the solo albums are great, but I don't need to hear the solo album music in the middle of the fucking movie. So let's hear the stupid Scooby-Doo music that happens in the middle of all the action scenes. But that, and then Andrew Scambatti did a great job on Greatest Show on Earth. So to see that projected onto a large screen is going to be really cool.
Really cool. Yeah.
And if you
awesome.
And if you want tickets to this and you're in the area, you got to be a Rockin' Pod Expo ticket buyer or registered podcaster to get the link to buy the tickets. This is a private event because I don't want Gene Simmons' lawyers coming after me. So you have to go that route to get it. And but it's only a $20 ticket. It's very cheap to get in. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's so many cool people, and we're down to seriously just a few tickets left. It's sold really well already.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be cool. I've never seen Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park on a big movie screen in the theater. Never.
Most people haven't.
That's what's going to make this special. Plus the live commentary, then getting to see the greatest show on earth on a giant screen. I want to sit next to Andrew and watch him and how he feels getting to see it on a big giant screen. All his hard work.
I think he'll have fun with that for sure. And then let's move on to Sunday. So Sunday's going to be cool. We've got some cool stuff going on at SIR with Carmine Apiece and Vinny Appice. I got to get their names right.
Oh.
So they're going to be doing some drum master classes. One ticket gets you access to both classes. It's only $50, so it's like $25 a master class. It's a good deal.
Man, and you're a drummer. They call it a master class for a reason. That's because these guys are the freaking masters of playing drums.
Yeah,
if they can rub off on you just a little bit, that's worth $25 for 2 sessions. $50 for both. You can't beat it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Carmine starts at noon, and then Vinny's starts at 1:15. Get in early. Check those out. They're going to have a lot of great tips for you if you're a drummer, like ways to even market yourself. These guys have had 40, 50 years in the business, and they know what they're talking about. So if you want to learn from some masters on how to improve as a drummer and also how to market yourself as a drummer, these classes are going to be valuable for you. And
Even
then,
if you buy a ticket just to hang out in the back of the room because you're a huge fan of these guys and you want to hear what they say, how when they talk about the drums and how they do it, how they've done what they've done for so long, you can do that. I don't think you necessarily have to be a drummer to be able to enjoy what they're doing. Because if that's the case, if you're just a giant fan of these guys, you can't beat an opportunity like that to be a witness to it. And there's more. They got more going on that day. We're a part of the next thing.
okay, the Mooger Fooger says they can barely hear you, and I'm too loud.
Hello, Mooger Fooger. I love you.
Now, see, that sounds great.
Oh, okay. Well, I just keep it over here.
Yeah. Let's go. Do the whole Boys to Men 90s thing. Hey, girl. All right.
Hey, girl. I notice you like podcasting. Let me tell you about Rockin' Pod.
But yeah, so that'll be cool. Starting at and I'm gonna, and says I'm blowing out the speaker, so I'm backing off some. So those start at 12 and then 1:15. You, like I said, you get access for both classes, and then starting at around 2:30, Aaron and I will be interviewing Carmine and Vinny for the Hangin' and Bangin' Rock History Talk, and we're gonna get so many cool stories from their whole career. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's really cool. Yeah, because that's something that you definitely want to be a part of. You know, talk about sitting in the back of the room while they're talking to drummers. That's cool. If you're that big of a fan, go do it. But if you're a huge fan of this band or these guys, these drummers, these master legendary drummers, then this is what you definitely need to be a part of, because they're going to tell their stories from their perspectives, from their awesome careers, and they're going to answer your questions. That's right. They're not just going to answer questions from me and Chris. They're not just going to tell us their stories. This is something that we are going to include everyone that's there in. So it's going to be all of us together. So don't think about this as this is something that Chris and Aaron are hosting. Think about this as, if I buy a ticket and I go to this, I'm going to be hosting this with Chris and Aaron, because you're going to be just as big a part of it as we are.
Yeah, it's I'm really excited for those guys to be a part of this, and you know they've been so fun to work with so far. I've learned a lot from Carmine and Vinny. They're super nice guys. We released a video with Vinny today, which was really cool, of him talking about all the events they're going to be involved in. It's really the Appice Brothers Weekend, because they're involved in every event that we're doing, and they're the only guests that are involved in every single event we're doing.
So cool. I love it. Awesome sponsors on that at Legendary SIR Studios here in Nashville. Yes, you can hear me now.
2 second row tickets from Mike.
No shit. He's going to Ugly Kid Joe.
But yeah, that's cool. And then let me mention the last thing that's going on Sunday, which is going to be a great way to end the weekend. We have the comedy show at the High Watt, the Punchlines and Backline show, with Don Jameson, Craig Gass, Courtney Cronin-Dold, and Izzy Presley hosting, and the Talisman doing their first and probably last stand-up set ever.
Depends on how it goes, you know. You never know.
Yeah, but it's a cool concept, because stand-up comedy show where rock stars do their first live comedy set with support from the pros, and then they lead a jam at the end of the show with surprise guests. So it is kind of a concert at the same time. You're going to hear some good music at the same time. And that's how we're going to wrap up ROCKNPOD Weekend.
It's going to be awesome, man. So much fun from the beginning to the end, from starting out on Thursday when the early birds are getting into town and they're hanging out at the scoreboard, enjoying that Packer scenery and those amazing chicken that they got there and all the good food and beer. And then Friday night, you got the pre-party. Well, first, we're going to be hanging out at the Rock and Mixer for the podcasters, the guys that are registered. We're all going to be at the hotel. We're going to meet up. We're going to hang out. And then from there, it's going to be awesome. We go to the pre-party. Rock United featuring Mangus and Phil Schaus that night. It's going to be great. And then Ron Keel Acoustic. You can't beat that. That's going to be awesome. And Resist and Bite, the Nashville Music City debut of Tommy Skio's Resist and Bite. I know Tommy Skio's name you always throw out there because he's the probably most well-known guy in the group. However, Tommy Skio's put together an amazing band that are writing some amazing songs with him. And that's going to be a fun event because we're going to get to hear the new stuff, and they're going to be busting out some old heavy Tesla songs that are going to be badass to hear done by Resist and Bite. And then, like we said, Rare Hair. It's an amazing thing. Different combinations, different artists, once in a lifetime opportunities to hear your favorite performers, the stars of ROCKNPOD Weekend coming out, and they're going to be busting out songs that you never thought you'd hear them play. Chris already knows what it's going to be. He's not going to spoil it for the rest of us, so we're just going to have to leave it be a mystery. But what an amazing unveiling that's going to be. So that's just Friday night. All that jammed into one party on Friday night, kicking off the ROCKNPOD Weekend. So then Saturday morning, we wake up, we're kicking it the way we're supposed to every single year. We didn't get to do it yet last year, so this year is going to be special. The return of ROCKNPOD 2001, the expo that's going to rock Music City like never before. That's on August 7th. It's at the Hilton Nashville Airport. I think most of us are staying there, or at least in the area. We're all going to hang out that day. You're going to get a chance to meet Billy Sheehan, Carmine Appice, Vinny Appice, Mark Goodman, Ricky Rackman, and Matt Pinfield from MTV fame. Did I say 2001?
You did. I didn't get you. But Mike's there to do it for me.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, let's do 2021 instead, I think. Let's jump in the future, in the present. All kinds of awesome guests are going to be there. All your favorite rock podcasts are going to be there. Your chance to see awesome interviews live up on stage. If you are a podcaster or you want to start one, all those educational tracks we talked about going on throughout the day, you're going to have an opportunity to be a part of that. Learn something about podcasting. You could probably do in a year and make more money than Chris and I have done in 10 years if you take those education courses like we should have done. We do it for the art. You can do it for the money.
Oh, let me get this in while I have a shot. This is just a little promo thing I did for the podcasts that are platinum podcasts this year. I want to throw them some love. So check this out. Okay.
That's awesome. I love those shows. Those are the best shows in rock and roll podcasting. And maybe you're going to have a chance to see them doing their thing. So say you're a fan of one of those shows. You listen to them every week or however often they come out with episodes. You never miss a new one. Now you can go to ROCKNPOD and you can find them. Oh, there's the Kiss Room, and they're interviewing somebody. I'm going to kind of stand over here and check it out. You get to see the creation of your favorite podcast in person. You can do that at ROCKNPOD. All that going on, acoustic performances, maybe a cosplay contest if somebody wants to dress up and get in on it. Signings, photo sessions, all kinds of great stuff going on at ROCKNPOD. Raffle drawings. There's always cool prizes going on. Yeah. Don't forget, this is brought to you by Incaptia, Bradley Entertainment, and of course Pantheon. Without them, ROCKNPOD would not be what it is for 2021, and we thank them because they are awesome.
Yes, very lucky to have some great sponsors on board this year, and just more of everything. I mean, it's like if you look back at 2017 where we started from and imagine what it turned into for this year, it's kind of hard to believe, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah, think about that. We were at the little strip mall down over there by the scoreboard, and I mean, I still look back at that one as being special because it was so much fun, and it was the very first one. But to think about that to, the Hotel Hilton with multiple rooms and all these different things going on, and Tommy Skio's band and Billy Sheehan and Carmine Appice and Vinny Appice and everybody else, Ace Von Johnson, all the cool ass people that are going to be at this thing, and the people that have come back. Think about guys like Jason Beeler and Toby Wright, who have been a part of this in the past and enjoyed it so much that they want to come back again. That's a testament to how cool Rockin' Pod is, because as much fun as it is for the fans, us, the fans, to go and be a part of that, it's really a good time for the artists too, because they get a chance to talk to their fans one-on-one. When Billy Sheehan's talking to somebody at his table and they're asking him questions about, Mr. Big or something like that, he knows he's talking to a true fan. And so that interaction is going to be something special that you get to share and take home with you and always have as an awesome memory. We got so many awesome people going to be there. We want you guys to be a part of it. It's the rock and roll party of the summer. Talking about Rockin' Pod 2021. If you haven't got your tickets yet, you got to get on the case, because it is next weekend. Yes, next weekend is Rockin' Pod Weekend. I can't believe it's finally here. It seems like it's taken forever to get here.
Yeah, Sonny Hollywood Pooney will be in the building.
Sonny Pooney will be at Rockin' Pod. Oh. Breaking news right there, people.
Glad you like the shirt. It's the Rare Hair shirt.
Now you get some tickets because Sonny Pooney's coming.
Talus. That's
Talus. Yeah. I was talking to a guy the other day. He was talking about some Billy Sheehan project that I never even heard of before. He said some crazy progressive thing. I can't remember what he said it was, but he said he was a huge fan of it.
Billy does about
so much stuff.
Yeah, he does like 20 projects a year.
Yeah.
So it's kind of easy to miss
track
one of
them all.
But yeah, I mean, if you would have told me, in 2017 that eventually we'd be booking some of these people, I never would have believed you. So it's amazing. And, we've got a great team of people helping us out with it. There's just Tracy McAndrew, who helps run the scheduling with everything. She's a saint in my eyes. Just does an amazing job trying to coordinate everything with people. I think herding cats is the right phrase for that.
Yeah.
Because she handles the scheduling for the podcasters and the guests, and there's a lot of work to be done with that. And she does a great job.
Those are one of my favorite things about Rockin' Pod, is getting yelled at by Tracy. Aaron, you are not supposed to be there. You're supposed to be over here right now.
Yeah, well, we have a different stage. There's a different stage manager this year, so he's going to yell at you instead of Tracy.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we'll figure it out. But I put your
bracelet on me.
I put your wife's table pretty close to the stage, so hopefully you're good to go.
Right on.
It was a convention without some Pooney. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
it's not much of one.
Sean Cullen flies in on Monday.
Nice.
Look us up, buddy.
Wow, you're gonna be here early.
Yeah, he's taking the whole week.
Nice.
But yeah, it's
chicken before that.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, I've enjoyed kicking back tonight and kind of relaxing a little bit with a couple of beers. So it's kind of helped me relax. Now after today, it's just going to be full on balls to the wall at this point.
But I guess we should probably maybe take the time to explain or apologize that we've become worse and worse in the month of July over the years. As Rockin' Pod gets bigger, the more I think maybe we should just take the month of July off, because we've become total failures at the month of July.
Well, it's just but it's a combination. It's not just I'm doing the Rockin' Pod stuff, but it seems like your work schedule always gets insane around this time too. And with the job you have, Aaron honestly is juggling like it's one job, but you could call it like 5 or 6, couldn't you, at this point?
I'd probably go with 7 or 8.
I was going to say, because you're juggling a lot of different places that you have to help out with.
Yeah. So, yeah, summertime, my job is tough in the summertime for sure. And, then with Rockin' Pod on top of it, plus, the stuff with Gary that we had going on,
it was a hard year.
In general, I think, honestly, we should probably move Kissmas to a different month. Like, hey, everybody, it's Kissmas in March. So that we could do it right.
Grayson Gallegos says Christmas in October. I wouldn't
Christmas,
mind that.
October, something different, because we're always rejuvenated after Rockin' Pod, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, I,
Because
you know,
you go to Rockin' Pod and you see all these amazing podcasters and you go, man, these guys are kicking ass, and man, they're so good. You go, man, we sure have sucked for the last month.
well, I'll tell you, that's every year. I love what I do, and thank God that Aaron believes in the vision of it and everything, because it takes up a lot of my time. But I always have this nagging feeling of I'm like cheating on my spouse with Rockin' Pod every year, because Decibel Geek takes a back seat every damn year. And then around this time every year, I'm like, damn, I can't wait to get back to doing Decibel Geek full time, because it's so hard, you know. And yeah, the last month is always the worst, but I've got plans for things. I'm hoping every year it does get a little easier, but yeah, I'd like to bring in maybe a partner that will take a lot more of this off my hands in the future for Rockin' Pod, so I can focus more on just being a podcaster. I never wanted to be the guy running the event, to be honest with you, but I just kind of got stuck with it, and I think I do okay with it. But honestly, Decibel Geek is still my heart and soul, so I want to get back to doing that very, very soon, because I miss doing it.
Without Decibel Geek, none of the Rockin' Pod stuff even happens.
Right, exactly, and I miss just focusing on our show and doing it that way. And I'm not saying anything to be resentful to Rockin' Pod. I love Rockin' Pod, but it takes a lot of time out of my schedule, and my wife misses me too.
Yeah, I bet. But here's the other funny thing too. In the past, there has been Decibel Geek tables at the expos, but nobody's ever had them. So I know we don't even have a table. There is no point.
I'm viewing your wife's table as our table.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's not like we're doing it. Not like we're going to get much done. I mean, that's why I always schedule a panel for Aaron and I to do, because that's the only way we get to actually do anything to be focused on. But we're
the year at the Nashville Palace. There was a booth that was for Decibel Geek, but neither one of us were ever in it. So that would just be a place for like Ralph Vieira to take a nap,
which he did.
Place for Rock and Ron to hang out.
Right. But no, I mean, I miss doing our show like full time and focusing more on that. But like my wife, she's come on board and thankfully helped me out with it, especially this year. So she's doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes with me, but I've got a lot of great people behind me doing this, and I just want to see it through. But as the organizer, I'm waiting for it to happen, because it's like all the last 2 weeks are always the hardest ones.
Yeah, that's when it all starts to come together, but ain't quite there yet.
Yeah,
but you only got one more week to go, my friend, and then this rock and roll celebration happens, and then you're gonna take a breath, and then people are gonna start calling you about the next year.
Oh, I know. Oh, I'm already being asked about next year.
Yeah, yeah. Knew it.
I've even got some business opportunities that have come my way for next year. So I have a lot to take into, but I've told everyone, I'm taking at least 2 weeks to a month off after this is over with. And I won't consider anything until I've had some time. And the week after Rockin' Pod, I'm going down to Savannah to see our son who's in the Army, and we're going to hit the beach, and I'm not going to talk to anybody for a couple of days. So I'm looking forward to that.
Good decompression. Yeah. Rock and roll pneumonia and the boogie woogie blues.
Thank you, Ken. It may be the longest week of your life, but it'll be the shortest of mine, I'll just say.
Yeah, that's the thing. It goes by fast once it happens.
Yeah. Wait till next Saturday is going to be an absolute blur once we get rolling. Yeah. It always is. Yeah. And that's why the podcaster mixer and the pre-party and stuff like that is designed so people can have a time to breathe and actually catch up and talk, because I'm telling you, once Saturday starts, it's going to be 100 miles an hour, and you're going to blink, and it's going to be over. Yeah. And I know Aaron agrees with me on that.
Yeah, you'll have a ton of great memories, but a lot of it's going to be like, oh, my God, I can't believe it's over already. I need more. I need more of this.
Yeah, but it's going to be a lot of fun. And but yeah, I'm excited. It's the biggest year yet, and I can't thank everybody enough for being there, and I can't thank you enough for being like the greatest MC ever to do this event every year like you do.
Man, it's easy for me when it's so much fun. You know, being an MC, not everybody can get up in front of an audience and talk like that. But for me, it's a lot of fun, and Rockin' Pod is the most fun event that I could ever be a part of. And so for me, that makes it easy and it makes it fun. And I'm honored to do it. You know, it's a blast for me. And I get to meet all the cool people that come, all the podcasters, all the people that are visiting, because I'm always wandering around. I'm not too hard to pick out of the crowd. So a lot of people like to come up and say hi, get their pictures taken with me. Don't be shy, people. You can come get your picture taken with Aaron Camaro. I'm happy to do it. You just tag me in it so I can see it too.
Oh, yeah. I should make a special
thing on Rockin' Pod. If you're out there taking pictures next weekend, meet the people, take the pictures, tag them in it, become friends. Keep your phone open so you can constantly be making friends with people and saving their names.
Yeah, that's the biggest regret I have every year is I never take enough photos with people because I'm too busy. But like, if you see me, even if I look busy, stop and make me take a picture with you because I don't want to regret it again this year. Every year I forget to do that, and I forget to get autographs and stuff. I'm just too busy. So I'm like, I've actually got a pile of stuff to get autographed off to the side here that I want to, make sure I get signatures from because I never, and yeah, that makes me a fanboy, but like I wouldn't have gotten into this unless I was a fanboy,
Yeah. Oh, something else I want to tell you, because I had some stuff set up over here for, oh shit, man.
Yes, Tom.
But if we're not doing that, I want to say if you're in Nashville and you're taking any time to go to any music stores, hello. If you're taking the time to go to any music stores while you're in town, check out our friends at Phonolux. Awesome store. They got our flyers setting up in there. They're letting the people know about Rockin' Pod. They love us. They support us. They've got some amazing stuff in their store. As a matter of fact, I can show you two of the things that I got.
What'd you get?
Might end up in my autograph pile too if I want to get stuff signed.
Oh, Vanilla Fudge.
First Vanilla Fudge on CD.
Nice.
It's weird, kind of psychedelic. Don't know if I'm into it that much, but this one, oh, this is really good. Cactus 5. This is an amazing album, man. It is hard rocking, jamming, killer. Awesome. I love it. So I found those this last weekend. I'm looking forward to putting together my little pile of stuff because everybody that's going, you look at what you got in your collection, something you can carry with you. If you say, oh, Jason Beeler's going to be there, I've got a Saigon Kick album. If I got something I want Carmine to sign, I got something Vinny I need to sign, bring in that Holy Diver, have him sign it, bring your stuff because these guys are going to be autographing your personals. You're going to love it. You're going to take it home. You're going to honor it because it's going to be a cool part of your collection. Imagine having that Holy Diver album in a frame up on the wall, autographed by Vinny Appice. People are going to look at that and go, where did you get that? You're going to say, you know where I got that? Rockin' Pod is where I got it.
Yeah, and I've got a Blue Murder vinyl that I got in a few months ago that I'm going to get Carmine to sign. And it's also a source of motivation because next year I'm going to try to get Tony Franklin and John Sykes to come.
Oh, nice.
Because I have to get the whole thing signed, so I have to book them, right?
Yeah.
But it's going to be cool. It's got a great opportunity to get autographs and meet people. And if you're on the fence, I don't know why you would be at this point. I mean, we've sold it about as much as we can, so I hope you'll come. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I think you okay with calling it an early night? I think we've covered everything pretty well.
I think so. So I guess we'll just leave you with this. If you're hearing us talk about this and you're interested in it and you want to check it out, all the details are ROCKNPOD.com. That's ROCKNPOD.com. All the information's there. It's an amazing weekend. If you love rock music, I guarantee you're going to have a blast. You're going to be so happy that you were a part of it. Try to join us for everything throughout the entire weekend. You can get Matt Porter's autograph. He'll sign it for you. No problem. I can set that up. You find me, I'll get you Matt Porter's autograph. But it's going to be awesome. It's not too late. It's only 1 week away, but it's definitely not too late. A lot of people are probably figuring out today when they're seeing them posters downtown going, what? This is next weekend? We got to go to it. So make sure you join us. It's going to be a collection of the most awesome people in the world all hanging out together. You're going to make new friends.
I'm busting Mike.
We did cover it.
Covered it.
We talked about it. You weren't listening.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. We took a break from Pimpin' Rockin' Pod just to talk about Ugly Kid Joe there for a minute.
Yes, Ken Mills will be at the Rockin' Pod again.
Your chance to meet Ken Mills, your chance to meet Rockin' Ron Runyon, and anybody else that you see on this list here that you want to meet. It's going to be a good time. You're going to get to hang out with your favorite podcasters and your favorite rock stars all at the same time. Join us for Rockin' Pod. It's next weekend. If you're coming, get on the case and do it. We want to see you there.
Will do. All right. Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Glad you're feeling better, Aaron. I didn't know you were not feeling good.
I ain't feeling no worse.
Okay. Have another drink. It'll be fine. But thanks again. If you're coming to Rockin' Pod, stop us. So take a picture. Say hi. Let's have a beer together. It's going to be a fun weekend. And Aaron, I'll see you next week when the insanity begins.
I can't wait. See you guys next weekend at Rockin' Pod 2021. Hell yeah.
See ya.